Welcome to the Chuseok special. For any Koreans or any Korean savvy foreigners, you might notice Korean gaming cards. As I was on the plane over to Korea, I spotted a little movie called Taja 2. Ever since I saw that movie, I wanted to learn how to play. I did learn to play the wrong game, because they didn't play that in the movie, they play something else. But that doesn't matter because this game is still really fun. The name of this game is GoStop. I know the rules, I know how to play, I don't know tactics, so I'm still not very good at winning. Last time I played, I lost by 1,000 points. But basically this game is played when, usually during Chuseok, when you're with family comes together, you make food, you do some stuff, you chill out, you play this game and drink, and lose all your money. Or win if you're pretty good. Okay, let's dig in. GoStop is a game based on points. You can only play with a maximum of 3 people at a time, so if you have more friends, one takes a break if you have 4 or something like that, and you just do it in a rotation. So you can play with 2 people or you can play with 3, but that's it. If you're playing 2 people, so 1 versus 1, normal set of points that would be your target would be 7. 7 is the average number of points. If you're playing 3 people, usually the target number will be 3. If you have more people you want to play with, 3 is good because it'll end the game quicker and more people can swap around. Once you hit your set number of points, this is the whole point of the game. You can either go or stop. So if I'm playing against somebody else, just one other person, and I score 7 points, I can then decide if I have 7 points, if he has maybe 6 points, then I'll say stop, because I don't want him to win, so I'll say stop. But if he has maybe 0 or maybe 1 or 2 points, then I can choose to go. Basically, I can win more each time I go. So it can double my points, or even triple or quadruple. But the thing is, once you go, you can only choose to go or stop again once you've gained more points than you originally had. So you have to gain more points after 7 or 3 for you to be able to go or stop. If you go once and then the person against you catches up and gets 7, even if you have more points than them, they can choose to stop and win. I'm just gonna go through what we have here. There's kind of 12 rows of cards that we have here. Each one represents a month in the year. We have January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December, and then here we have all of our kind of bonus or joker cards. With each month there is different types of cards. The bright card, you'll know each time it's a bright card because it has this little red circle with the Chinese written on it. These are also called the Guang. There's 5 in total, and the animals can be quite handy cards to have, especially the birds. The trick is, this is a bird, so technically yes it is an animal, but it's a bright card. So next there is the ribbon cards, 10 ribbon cards. Red ribbons with poetry written on them, red ribbons without poetry, and then blue ribbons. And there's 3 of each, except there's 4 red ribbons without poetry. These cards are called junk cards, and they have no ribbons, no animals, they just have the plant or tree or whatever it is. Once you play them, they are worth 2 of any junk cards. This particular card, it is different from these 2. These 2 are worth 2 junk cards, no matter what. As soon as you get it, it goes into your junk pile and it's worth 2. This card, it can be like an animal card. And I'll explain how the points work. Bright cards. If you collect all 5 of these in the game, you've pretty much won. That's 15 points. If you get any 4 of these, you get 4 points. You can get for this, anyway. If you get 3 of any of these, not including this, that's 3 points. If you get 3 including this, so if you get 3 like this, that's 2 points. If you collect, say 3 of these, If your opponent hasn't collected any of these, you can double your points against him and he can lose by double. If he has collected one, then the score doesn't change. If you collect any 5 animal cards, that's 1 point. But if I add another bird, the 6th card is a second point. Once you get these 3, and this is called godori, you get 5 points. 3 birds, because that's 5, it's 10 points altogether. So you've got 5 points here, then you've got your 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Just like the bright cards, you have 7 that you collected throughout the game, and you stop and your opponent has none, it doubles your score against them. So next is the ribbon cards. Okay, so as I explained, if you collect 3 red ribbons with poems, that's going to score you 3 points. Same if you get 3 blue, 3 points. If you get 3 red without poems, that's 3 points. Another way to get points, other than trying to collect 3, 3, and 3, if I have 5 cards, 5 cards together is 1 point. So after 5, it's 1 extra point, so it all adds up. But this is 3 points. 3, and then 4, 5, 6. Last thing is the junk cards. So if I've got 10 cards here, 10 junk, that's 1 point. So after 10, you get an additional point. These 2 cards are particularly special because these are 2. 1 point here, that's 3 points. So I've got the extra 2. And the same with this. These are the exact same. Another special card, this one that I was talking about here earlier, it can be used as an animal card, or it can be used like these. If you win and your opponent has less than 7, then that doubles your score. These are particularly useful. You pick one up, you flip this over, and you get to pick up another card. There's a card out here, and I pick up a card, and I'm like, okay, that's 1 bonus. If I pick up another and it matches, then I take all of it. But if I pick up a different one, so I pick up a bonus and I pick up something else, I only take the bonus. It's also important to note, like these 2 is worth 2 points. So bonus cards are really great, handy little things to pick up. Also, if you're the dealer and you put these down on the table, you get to take this instantly with you, which I'll explain again. Okay, so here we've set up kind of like an example game of certain things, because there are certain things they can do during play that'll get you extra points. So the first thing is bonus card. If the bonus card is in your hand, what you can do is you can play it down into your pile of junk, and that counts as 2, and then you can pick up another card to replace that. If you have 3 of the same cards in your hand, you can do 2 things with this. Notice there's nothing on the table for me to play, so what I can do is I can shake these, which is basically I show my opponents that I have these 3 cards, and then I can play them whoever way I want. But if I show them and at the end of the game I win, that doubles my points. But also, if you have 3 cards in your hand and the 4th one is on the table, you can do something called bombing. You can bomb the table. Basically, bombing the table is when you take all your 3 cards and you place them on this, so you get all of these cards. Once you've bombed, like, that's a really handy thing. You can add that to your pile, but after you bomb, you end up with a lot less cards than you should have. So your next turn, if you have what we call nothing to eat, eating is taking cards, so you place down a card and you eat it, you put it into your pile. So if you have nothing to eat on the table, you don't have to put down a random card because you've taken so many out of your hand. You can just turn over a card. Shitting or pooing. And this is where, if I have, say, this card and I can see it on the table as well, I place this down and I turn over, but it's the same card. That means I shit myself. And in that case, I don't take these cards away. I get nothing. And these cards can be taken by anyone. what can happen is during my next turn, if I have this card, or if this card is turned over, so if I play a card here and I turn this over, place it down, I'm self-shitting, I think is what they call it. So if I get this, then I've self-shit, and that means I get to take it, and each of my opponents has to give me 2 of their junk cards. However, if I don't get it and my opponent takes my shit, then I have to give him one of my junk cards. Every opponent of his has to give him 1 junk card. You can also, if you are unlucky enough to shit yourself 3 times, you get something called diarrhea, and that means you win. The next thing is what we call kissing, making the cards kiss. So if I'm looking around the table and I see that I've got nothing to eat, I'm like, oh, okay, right, so I'll just throw something away. So I'll throw this away, and then I flip over the next card. Happens to be the card I just threw away. That's called a kiss, making the cards kiss. And in that case, I get to take it away, and my opponent gives me 1 card. Another little rule we've got here is when you clear the table. So I've got 2 cards left here. One of them obviously matches this, so I hit it down, flip, and I take the 2. So the table's empty now, so what that means is, first of all, my opponents have to give me 1 junk card each. Also, from there, they have nothing to eat after that, so they have to just place down cards and flip and hope it matches. So also, just in case as well, if you have no junk cards to give, if your opponent does something like clears the table, then it's fine, it doesn't mean anything, you don't have to give them anything. One of the many, many rules in this game. It gets easier the more you play, it's very natural. But see, I have 2 of the same card out here, and I've got a card. What I can do is, for example, if I have something like this, I can choose which one I want to take. Obviously in this case, the better card to take would be this one, but that's not what I'm going to show you. So if I choose that one, but when I flip, it's the 4, so I take all of them. And that's called dadak, because place 1 is da, dak. So I take all of these back, but also each of my opponents has to give me 1 of their junk cards again. Now you can combine some of these rules, like if this wasn't here, so I take this, I take all of them, but now I've cleared the table. So clearing, I take 1 junk card from everyone, but also dadak gives me 1 from each person. So they have to give me 2 junk cards each. And that works with anything, like say if I throw down a card and there's nothing to eat, I flip it, I kiss, and I clear the table. So that's another 2 because I've cleared and the card's kissed. So you can combine rules like that to get 2 junk cards from your opponents. So it's a very tactile card game. You have to think ahead a lot. The last thing I'm going to explain before I just wrap things up, rather than giving 10 cards to each person and 8 cards on the table, you give 7 to each person and 6 go on the table. So you start off, you give 4, 4, 4, and then you throw 3 in the middle. And then same again, but 3, 3, 3. And then the last 3 in the middle. And this game is played exactly the same way as a 2-person game. The only difference is that the points to win will be a little bit lower. So 7 for 2 people, 3 for 3 people. I think I've pretty much covered as much as I can about the game. Let me know in the comments if I have left anything out, because I am still pretty new to the game and I am not Korean, so it's not native to me, so I don't really know. I'm still learning and still being told new things every time I play. I'm gonna fight some Koreans in this. And I'm gonna win. I'm gonna go there, I'm gonna train, I'm gonna fight them. Real. These games get serious. It's like Monopoly over here. Ruins friendships in the best way. I hope this is educational for any foreigners who don't know how to play, or for any rare strange Koreans who don't know how to play. I don't think you people exist, but maybe. See you next time.